What up, G Life? It's your boy MC Shadow back at you with another video. Make sure you guys like, comment, and or subscribe to the channel. That is how you help my channel get into the algorithm. I highly appreciate if you go ahead and do that. You know what I mean? Now, don't forget to check out my second channel, Man in Society M.O.D, where we talk about stuff outside of the streets. Any kind of conversations. Conspiracy. Serial killer. Historic. Scientific. We talk about it all. Now, I had bumped into one of my subscribers yesterday in the night when I got out of work. I went to the liquor store, bumped into one of my subscribers, feed my homeboy, you know what I mean? A toda madre, he was like, damn, what the hell? Like, damn, what a trip, my boy, yeah, watch your channel with the woo. He's like, man, I didn't know you lived right here in California, right here in Los Angeles, right? And I told him, I say it all the time in my videos. And he's like, well, yeah, I know, but you know how, fools say this, and that, but then, it turns out, different stuff. I go, there's no reason for me to lie about anything ever, bro. Like, I understand the consequences of lying, and he come back and bite you in the ass and shit like that. That's the reason why I choose not to and just come be straightforward, on here. Because how many times has it happened already with so many individuals that this, and this, That's why I tell people to not lie. I mean, people who know you watch this stuff and they could just, expose you, bro. Like, the amount of ignorance and narcissistic behavior that these individuals have to think that, they won't be found out is crazy, bro. It's crazy, But then, hey, that's the beautiful thing about, psychology, right? Understanding the psyche of individuals. It's a trip, right? The psychopathy and all of that. It's crazy. But anywho, so he was like, yo, damn, hey, you stay around here. I told him, yeah, Simon, with the wolf. I even told him, man, I haven't even posted my address on the internet, bro. Like, I don't care, you know what I mean? I got nothing to hide and I got nothing to fear, Only those who choose to hide have something to, the reason they're hiding is because they have something to hide, I got shit to hide. And I'll be damned if I live my life, in fear, because that's not living. I mean, I don't welcome death, but at the same time, I don't fear it. It's part of life. But anywho, so, me and him, we were conversating, you know what I mean? And he was telling me about certain YouTube, since we were on the topic, he was telling me about certain YouTubers. And he asked me about, certain YouTuber, and I told him, nah, I don't mess with that YouTuber, And he's like, oh, why not? And what do? And I just told him that, well, just personal reasons, right? Because look, I'm somebody who doesn't like to be dissing individuals, right? If they're not in front of me, right? I'm not gonna be insulting and bashing the individuals, you know what I mean? At least, they could defend themselves like that, you know what I mean? I get nothing out of dissing somebody when they're not around, because that's not tough. Because they're not there, You see people's true colors once, they're put in that actual scenario. Right? And the thing with me is I don't like to convince people about anything. Like, if I have beef with somebody, right, that beef just stays between me and that individual. I don't try to bring anybody else involved and drag everybody else in the mix or try to paint this individual a certain way. That way this person stops messing with him. Like, if he stops messing with him, I get nothing out of that. So there's no purpose in that. I don't see no purpose in none of that. You know what I mean? That's why I just really don't like going into all of that, he told me, like, oh, no, but, sometimes it's not people's faults, sometimes this happen, and this kind is how sometimes homies get done. And I told him like this. And I told him I was going to do this video, right, to break it down, for you to understand a little bit more, because obviously he had to go. He had his girl waiting and his kids and whatnot, in the car. Pretty much it comes down to like this. I get it that people come on here and they like certain YouTubers and certain people and they identify, with these individuals. They sympathize with these individuals. So they believe these individuals, right? But the thing is that with YouTube, everything is one-sided, right? So you really don't know what really is going on or what really happened or the actual facts about certain scenarios, about certain people, right? Um, of course, anybody could just come on here and say whatever they want, right? You've seen it time after time. So many individuals come on here and say that they're this and that, and proclaim to be gangster and proclaim this and that, and then it turns out, puro pedo, right? They just try to trick individuals, with fake stories. That way they could get money. So people should feel insulted that they think that they could play you out of pocket like that. But hey, um, right? So you're only hearing a story one side from this individual, right? You don't know that that's the true story. You don't know if that's really actually what happened, because this individual's only going to tell you what he wants to tell you. You know what I mean? He's not going to tell you what it is. You know what I'm saying? Because it doesn't benefit him. Because if he actually was to come forward or came with the truth, he would believe he wouldn't have grown the same amount of traction, therefore not bringing the same amount of revenue. So therefore, he had an interest in why to deceive, right? Not only that, them knowing that real ones, solid individuals, right, the ones that know the real facts and information about homies scenarios or situations and all that, know that they're not going to come on here and go back and forth or question it or argue or put it out there, right? Because to real homies, real ones, it doesn't benefit them. What do they get out of coming on the internet, right, and telling people, no, this person really is a piece of crap. Look, here's the evidence and the proof. Why should they have the need to convince the audience? The audience are not gang related. The audience has nothing to do with this life. The audience has, no horse in the race. The audience, it would be pointless, right? Because, who are they and why should they know? And, and it doesn't even matter. So they really, and entertaining that stuff is just not the thing to do, right? It's not what people do. You know what I mean? And these fools are aware of this information. That's why, they spell out, knowing that, people are not going to come out and call them out on it, right? But from time to time, you see individuals who, do end up getting exposed, one way or another. Because like I said, what always happens in the dark always comes to light, bro. It's only a matter of time before your mouth and your antics catches up to you, because people get tired of that shit, you know? Um, the thing is that when somebody is actually bad, when somebody actually feels bad, or when somebody actually is not a bad person and stuff like that, they don't constantly keep making the same mistake and apologizing for the same thing and doing the same thing over and over and over and over and over again, right? Or when they're describing how people should behave, and then in the same video be doing the opposite of what they just said. You know what I mean? That's how you know that people think that they're so smart or slick, or think that they could fool everybody. The fact that they can't even see their own bullcrap, right? The fact that they think that people can't be able to see that or point it out or figure it out is crazy. They really think people are that dumb and naive. You know what I mean? And some people do believe these individuals because, people have charm and charisma and stuff like that. And people, get, you know, are gullible and they get sucked into the sympathizing stories, right? They always tell it in a way for people to feel bad for these individuals. That way they sympathize with them, right? They tell the sad story, right? But that's all it is, just merely a story, just another plot in the, because it's a frequency thing that they keep doing, right? It's like they keep displaying and using the same tactics over and over again, right? That's how you know when somebody's not sorry. You say you're sorry, but yet you keep doing it over and over and over again. That's how you know that they were never sorry, all the priors, to this, because if that would be the case, this wouldn't keep happening. Right? That's how you know when somebody's just full of shit or if they're actually solid, right? If they keep making the same mistake, then, my boy. You get what I mean? So you're always hearing a story one-sided from an individual. You don't know if that's really what happened, if that's really, what went down. If people are just, telling their side of, you should always hear the full story, right? Hear both sides before you want to make your assumption on anything, instead of taking somebody's word, because people always have, a reason for being deceitful, right? Whether it's for financial means or for publicity or respect or reputation. You know, either way, it's a scheme, right? It's a scam, right? Because anything that involves with you deceiving people or tricking people or lying to people is legitimately a scam. You know, this is I'm not making that up. You know, I'm not. You know, not the one that created. Legitimately, if somebody is lying or being deceitful to you, then they're scamming you. There's no other way to slice it or look at, or that's exactly what's going on, and that's exactly what's by definition. You know what I mean? It's not that people are hating on individuals and stuff like that. I mean, when you come and you spit the truth about something, right, or you give the definition of something, right, going based off what an individual is doing, how is that hating? You're just giving the definition of what's happening and bringing the honest truth. You can't hate when you bring the honest truth. You can only hate when you're lying on somebody, making up stuff about individuals, you know, inventing scenarios, disrespecting and talking shit. That is when you're hating on somebody, right? If you're calling them bitch, if you're saying that, if you're making up all these stories about them. But if all you're simply doing is coming and being honest, right, and giving the definition of what they're doing, how is that hating? Now, individuals might see it that way because they themselves could see that, damn, they're onto me, so they have to defend themselves one way or another, and the best way is to just say what everybody else says. It's because they're hating, right? And of course they use the same defense that everybody uses, right? Because for some odd reason, somebody that has more money than somebody else, right, if they're having a conversation, right, a debate, right, the guy who has more money for some odd reason feels that he's right just because he has more money than this individual. Or let's just say maybe more people know this individual, than he feels like everything he says is right and that this person is wrong, that this person can't show him nothing, or he can't be right about nothing, and that, that this person is right about everything, and he has the final say so because he has a following or because of his revenue. But that is not how the world works. It doesn't matter how much money, following, or anything like that, right? Because what's real is real, and what truth is truth, and what's facts is facts, bro. And no amount of money and all that could change none of that. So I get it, you're successful. I get it, you're this and that. But that doesn't change the fact that you're wrong about what you're saying, bro. But a lot of people, they just go based on numbers, right? They see the numbers, or, oh, this person has more, so obviously he must be the one that's telling the truth, or the one that's right. When that's not how the world works, bro. You know what I mean? You know? But like I said, it's the times how they run now. The people go based on appearance and illusions, right? That's why I say the real now, the new real became the fake. Because they just put on the gimmick and facade it, and people buy into it, knowing that the ones who are solid and real, they don't play those kind of games. They don't do those kind of antics and tactics. Therefore, that's why they're not as successful. You know what I mean? Because they're not willing to, degrade themselves, or, turn their back on their morals like these individuals are willing to do, because to them, they have no morals. They have no honor. They have nothing. You know what I mean? Because to them, the only thing that matters is one thing and one thing only. And it doesn't matter how they'll get it, as long as they get it, right? Doesn't matter who they have to snake and shice and nothing like that, right? But overall, that's why, you should always, you know, listen to both sides of stories, right? Because individuals are always going to want to tell you what they're going to want to tell you. There's nothing gangster about proclaiming to be gangster on the internet, you know what I mean? For somebody to really care, or wanting the people to believe that they're gangster, or to be seen as tough or hard, that's crazy, bro. Why does that mean so much to you? Because obviously, image to them is everything, right? It's literally what's paying their bills and what they're eating off of, right? A gimmick, right? Therefore, they can't afford to lose the gimmick. Because if they lose the gimmick, they lose everything. While real ones don't care, bro. Because we live in the real world where real things happen, with real individuals and real stuff. But other people live in this fake world that they create for themselves. That's why they try to defend themselves, to the ends of time on here, right? Because if they lose this, then their world comes crashing down. you know, just be aware, of people, because there's a lot of people who are trying to, snake and shake individuals. Just some word of advice, you know what I mean? But what do you guys think? Leave your opinions in the comments and shout out. We out.